every year, around this time, we do a back to school program where we do the children who are transitioning from primary school to secondary school. And we try to provide them with, the basics of school bag, books, pens, rulers, a scientific calculator, dictionaries, geometry sets. Enough to help them get through toiletries, juices, water bottles, whatever we are able to get in support mostly. So I want to thank ABKC Club.
Yeah, thank you.
And also Mr. Show, but I want to thank him because he came on board to support us by giving us the wherewithal to be able to actually source a lot of these items. This year we expect to have about 60 children who are moving from primary school to secondary school here. We will do a program on August 27th at the Garrison School, in City School. We present these awards and these things that we were able to use and support. And it is not a case where you give the most talented or the least talented, it's just everybody. Everybody who sat the 11 plus exam, lives in St. Michael South, receives one of these packages. And we also have a relatively young person who would have recently completed the 11 plus or maybe just completed secondary school to come and give the children a little pep talk and prepare them for the realities of secondary school. So that is what we're doing on the 27th, and this support goes a long way to being able to do that.
Right, so we're just here asking for the update on the 1,000 vulnerable families that are supposed to be assisted, how the planning phase is going for that. So far, the family being outlined so far is a process where they have to sign up or they've chosen from some committee. You're looking for an update on that.
Okay, first of all, let me explain to you what the program is in the first place. The 1,000 Family Program is an initiative to support what we believe are the 1,000 most vulnerable families in Barbados. Not individuals, families. We're assuming that a family has 7 to 8 persons in it, so that's about 7,000 or 8,000 persons. The fact is that the ministry already has a lot of information through our various departments, be it welfare, the National Disabilities Unit, the National Assistance Board, and so on. So we have a very solid database. We also had amplified that database. We were looking at it in relation to disasters and who was most vulnerable. So we have a lot of information. Nonetheless, in the next few weeks, you're going to see a public call to persons to come forward and identify persons who live in their communities that they believe are also vulnerable. We imagine that will help fully throw out some new names, although we expect a lot of those persons will already be in our database. We're also going to be reaching out to a lot of the NGOs to give us further names, so that we have a very large base from which to choose. Then a choice has to be made. The way we're going to do it, we have 2 forms. One is called the eligibility score sheet, where you are evaluated scientifically based on the state of your conditions, really, the housing, is anybody working, the level of education in the household, the health in the household, so on. And then the other form is what we call a universal intake form, which basically looks at, it's a less condensed form that allows us to make a much more rapid determination. So using those forms and that scientific approach, from the thousands that we anticipate will come forward and that are already in our database, we will then be able to make a determination as to who will be on the program. What we're also doing is that we started looking at young social workers, because for the program to be effective, we need to have about 1 social worker to 10 to 15 families. If you assume that a family has 8 persons, that's 1 social worker to 8 persons. At welfare, for example, 1 social worker is working over 400 persons. So you can see the difference in terms of the capacity to be able to better serve that family. And then there's a whole gamut of services, education, health. The ministry responsible for housing has already allocated 5% of your new houses to us, and another 10% to persons with disabilities. So that would allow us to be able to have first pick for a lot of our clients. The Ministry of Education has also been mandated to support us to give education access to our clients as well. And so, and as well the Ministry of Health, because in the first program, we have a program running now for 250 persons, but a lot of that was paid healthcare. In this program, the government will make sure those people are prioritized for their healthcare.